Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and the objective that you mentioned in your testimony or in your opening statement of helping families deal with these great challenges that they encounter with a child or children with disabilities is a shared goal that we have. And seeing that the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI, is administered in an efficient and effective way is a goal that we share. It's one of the reasons that Mr. Neal and others joined to ask the Government Accountability Office to take a look at the reports that were raised by this Boston Globe study. On the other hand, when we have studied unemployment, we have had some members almost suggest that the main problem with unemployment is the unemployed and that they can be blamed for the situation. And we ought not to follow a course along those lines as it relates to families with disabilities. SSI assist families who are dealing with a child with a disability, physical, mental, or both. And only about 1/10 of the children in the country with such disabilities receive SSI, and the benefits amount to about $600 a month. These are benefits that help offset the cost of caring for severely disabled children. SSI is particularly important in my home state of Texas, where we have so many poor children generally, and particularly poor disabled children, about 130,000 in the state who are receiving benefits. Two such children live near where I do in central Texas in Bastrop County, Tyler and Noah Roberts. They're 5-year-old twins. When you look at their photos, you see two very beautiful little boys. But they are little boys who have severe autism. One is nonverbal and engages in behaviors like flapping his arms, spinning, and throwing tantrums. The other is verbal but has severe anxiety, intestinal, and sensory problems. These are serious conditions that have greatly impeded their mother's ability to maintain a regular work schedule, and she depends on SSI to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. I have seen situations just like this in the work that my wife has done. Before I came to Congress, she headed an early intervention program working with infants and very young children who had severe disabilities across the Texas Hill Country. This is not an isolated case. It is an example of the challenges that families face that we need to be assisting, not blaming them for the problem that they have. There has been some growth in the SSI program since 2001, largely in a response to the growing number of children that live in poverty in this country. But just because more families like the Roberts are receiving SSI benefits to help raise their children with autism and other significant problems doesn't mean they should be targeted for cuts. During the last decade, almost 5 million more children have fallen below the poverty line. One could reasonably assume that the increase would have an impact on a program designed to help low-income families with disabled children. While we hear suggestions that the program has changed, the Congressional Research Service concludes that the rate of poverty on SSI as a percentage of children living in poverty is about the same now as it was in 2001. Further, we have increased efforts to identify childhood disabilities. The Center for Economic and Policy Research found that the number of children receiving screening and diagnostic services under Medicaid rose from a little over 5 million to over 20 million children from 1998 to 2008. Nevertheless, there has not been an increase in SSI approval rates for children with mental impairments. According to the Social Security Administration, the percentage has actually dropped from 2001 to 2010. There are a number of steps that we can and should take to improve the administration of SSI, and I hope we'll explore those in the hearing. First, I think Congress needs to make good on its pledge to provide adequate resources to conduct continuing disability reviews to ensure that SSI recipients maintain their eligibility for services. And President Obama's administration has nearly doubled the number of those reviews compared to the last year of President Bush. Second, if we are serious about improving outcomes for children receiving SSI, I look forward to discussing other supports we can offer these families as they work with their children and they seek employment opportunities for unemployed disabled children. We are, as the chairman indicated, joined by the Bentley family, by Katie and her son Will, who receive SSI. They are accompanying Jonathan Stein, who is testifying. Despite the severe impairments that Will faces, Ms. Bentley and her husband were reluctant, as many families are, to even apply for SSI. They wanted to support Will on their own. But after Ms. Bentley had to close her business to care for Will, the financial burden was heavy, and she took the benefits that she is entitled to take. Since Will has been receiving these benefits, his outcomes have improved remarkably. According to Ms. Bentley, the life-altering value of SSI is worth so much more than its monetary value. It's truly priceless, in her words. Mr. Chairman, we can all agree on the need to improve and strengthen SSI outcomes, and I look forward to working with you on reforms. But let's reject any direct cuts in assistance to the disabled in the name of helping them. However great our nation's fiscal challenges may be, we ought not to balance the budget on the backs of